So Tom, did you take these calls more readily because they were made to you from the former Prime Minister?
Well, if a former minister that I've worked with asked to talk to me, I will always do that. As I said, I only joined. The call I took from Mr. Cameron was not a substantive discussion of the proposal. He knew that I'd had the proposal sent to me. I'd been sent a copy of the original proposal, and I knew from that letter that Mr. Cameron was an advisor to the company. So in the phone call, and I should say, once we have our freedom of information release ready, this will be clear from the record. It was simply a call to draw it to my attention, and in the call I said, thank you very much, this is something that we're looking at, and Charles Roxburgh is the person leading it. So it was not a call with any more substance than that. In terms of the actual discussions with the company over their application to the CCFF, as I said earlier, I just joined one phone call. I think it was less than half an hour, and that was the entirety of my involvement in it. Otherwise, it was all Mr. Roxburgh who led it as the person, the senior official responsible for the CCFF, the facility.
So if there'd been a staff member of another organisation or a lobbyist who hadn't been a former Prime Minister, would you have been ready to take that call?
Well, I've also from time to time had calls from other senior people, maybe senior people, private sector people who I've previously worked with in another capacity. I think it's natural when somebody that you know asks to speak to you. It's quite natural to take that. I mean, if I may go back, if I may take you back 25 years to the Nolan Committee on Standards in Public Life.
Oh, good to hear that's been mentioned in Whitehall.
And if you go back to their very first report in 1995, I think it was, on lobbyists, they say the following: it is the right of everyone to lobby Parliament and ministers, and it is for public institutions to develop ways of controlling the reaction to approaches from professional lobbyists in such a way as to give due weight to their case while always taking care to consider the public interest. That's the first report of the Nolan Committee. And I think that's what the Treasury did in this case. We were approached quite persistently from this company, and we listened to what they said, we analysed it, we tested it, and in the end, despite them submitting a series of successive proposals, and Mr. Roxburgh said, we decided to reject them all. And I think that's a completely appropriate way of dealing with the matter.
It seems as though some people have perhaps more access than others, but I'm going to move on to colleagues who I know